Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yvette Quale and I like to create craft tutorials for beadwork, junk journaling, paper crafting, and more. If you're new to my channel, I ask that you hit the subscribe button and go ahead and give me a comment. I'd love to comment back and I hope you like my content. In today's video, I'm going to give a little bit of a channel and shop update. As many of you know, I sell my junk journals and supplies through Lindsey at nevermorecreation17.com. And Lindsey has gone back to full-time teaching, so she's going to be restructuring how she presents supplies in her supply section. So as many of you know, I like to make tassels. I have a bunch here, just different kinds, and they're a little bit difficult for me to come up with the structure of a ephemera pack that she is has in her supply shop now. So that's how we all need to present our supplies. I have found a way to put a few of those items in, but I know that many of you have been asking me for larger selections or groupings of these items. So I will have those available in my Etsy shop. Also, I will have single tassels, so in some cases. So those will also be available on my Etsy shop. I will still have ephemera packs, which will also include some junk journal jewelry at Lindsey's shop from time to time. And I do have two that I'm mailing off to her in the next few days. So anyway, I have a couple things here that I'm going to be going over. I'll have a link in the description box to my Etsy channel where you Etsy shop where you can find some of the supplies I'm showing you today. Sorry if I feel a little bit rushed today or sound a little bit rushed. I'm doing this video while my daughter has my grandson out of the house. So he lives with me. He's almost 2 years old now, and he really likes my craft room a bit too much. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and look at some of the jewelry that I've made for you guys to consider for your junk journals. So on this side over here, I have some sets that are presented in my Etsy shop. Over here, I have some other sets and some singles. So I'm just going to go through a little bit at a time here. So let's start with these. This is a set of 5. They are bead and chain dangles. So the idea of this is you would hang this on the spine of your journal. You could hang 2 or 3. You could put a button on here. You could hang it with something else like a ribbon tassel or something like that. So this one, of course, is green, has some new and some old vintage buttons on there. I like to mix and match. This one has some blues and greens on there, and these are all in the same set of 5 in my Etsy shop. So here's a pink one that goes with the set. Here's a red and orange one. And then lastly we have a red and kind of silver or a metal and pearl. All right, so that's one item that I have available in my shop. The next one I'll show you here is a new idea I came up with, well, new to me anyway. So I have a whole bunch of these vintage buttons. I went ahead and added them to make some tassels. So I thought they were just fun, and these are new beads on this one with a vintage button. And then these, they can actually go hanging inside your journal. They're small enough and thin enough that they could go on a page in a journal or be attached to an envelope or a journal card or something like that. So this one in particular has 4 to the set. You'll get these 4 items in one set. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. It's very similar to the last one. It's got a vintage button at the top with the kind of champagne colored beads at the bottom. And then it has 3 smaller, I call these dangles, I call this a tassel. So I don't know how to distinguish them, but that's kind of how I do it. You could even use like this one, it's a little bit longer. That would be cute on a spine too, just very simple, hanging down from a journal spine. So they don't necessarily have to all go in the same journal, so you could actually have 4 tassels in that set. The next one I'm going to look at here is an individual tassel. This one gave me a bit of a hassle. I really wanted to use these buttons. They're Bakelite vintage buttons. There's 2 of them. And I wanted to put them back to back kind of, but I was having a problem with how it was going to hang. So I put some beads in here because I don't like things to look unfinished. And then the dangles, there's 5 dangles that hang down. These are vintage red glass beads with copper hearts on each one. So this is one individual tassel that's available in my shop. Let's go ahead and look at these blue ones here. I have a set of 2, and the buttons on these are vintage buttons, very unique looking, and then bead tassel or dangle at the end. And then this one is very similar but in a lighter shade. So that's a set of 2 on those blue ones. Let's go ahead and look at our next one here. This is a set of 5. This is the first one I made. I mean, if we're going to make something, let's go big or go big or go home, right? So this is really fun. I like the sound of it. It's really chunky and just a whole bunch of different kind of buttons on there. So that's the main tassel, and then we have these smaller tassels, and the buttons are kind of cool. They look different on each side, so depending on how you hang it on your journal, it will look different. This one I just put a little cluster of buttons on there, a little bit of fun on that, again with the copper heart on here. And then this one is just a little tiny one that would look cute on a journal card or an envelope inside your journal. And then the last one here is a anchor, and it has a wood button at the bottom with copper beads and a button here, button back here. So it just hangs down, and those buttons kind of become like little beads on there. So there's that set of 5. I'm going to set those aside over here. I'm running out of room on my chair behind me. Okay, the next thing I have is these are name badges that have been cut and then upcycled with some paint on there, just a little bit of abstract art, and then I went ahead and used beads for the dangles. So this is a set of 3, and here's the smaller dangle coordinating, and then this one's just a little tile that goes with it. So there's those 3 in a set. I have this set of 3. These are just little charms that you can hang anywhere inside there. I'll bring it up close so you can see it. They're just little sunsets on there. Okay, and then this one has a little sailboat, a little bit of a seascape, and then as we go down we got the bead and chain dangle. So that's a set of 3. This one is a little flower on there, and then all of these longer beads that you see here, these are bamboo beads with faux pearls on there, and this is a chunky little guy just hanging off of a journal would be really pretty. So there's that one. Here's a set of 3, and this one is again the kind of abstract painted there. This is an upcycled necklace, so I just used the chain off the necklace, and then I put some beads at the bottom. So that's the first one in that set. Here's the second one in that set, which again has more of that chain from the necklace. And then the third one here is just a single individual dangle. Okay, then let's go ahead and look at our individual tassels. These are hand beaded. Each one is sold separately. So this one has a handmade ceramic glazed piece at the top for the focal bead. And then the accent beads, I don't know if you can see that on camera, they're little butterflies. These are vintage glass beads and leaves and all kinds of stuff in there. So there's that one available. Got this one, which is a vintage clay bead, and then again with the vintage glass beads and some new beads, seed beads, a little bit of jasper down here, and a bulb pin. Each one has a bulb pin at the top. So there's that one. There's this one here, which is a handmade clay bead at the top for your focal bead. And then these are natural stones. I'm not sure what kind they are. And then I have acrylic leaves at the bottom with seed beads making up that tassel. This one is vintage beads on there and just a little bit more simple. This one's not as elaborate as the others because some people don't like the big and over the top. So this one is a vintage mermaid bead. She's at the top there. I'll turn her around so you can kind of see what she looks like. And then as we go down, this is pinks and purples. And then down here at the bottom, we have her little tail. So this is a glass mermaid tail. And that's also available in my shop. Let's go ahead and look at this one. This is a handmade bead here. And then acrylic leaves at the bottom with some vintage glass beads in between. This one is a little bird at the top. He's glass. I don't know. This little bird is glass. And then as we go down, I've got carnelian and vintage glass beads in there. And I'm trying to see what else I've got. Yep, that's about it. And some seed beads. So those are those. Again, available in my Etsy shop, link in the description box. So I'm going to go ahead and show you something else that I did here. Now some of these are uploaded already, some are not. So if you don't see them in there, just be patient with me over the next few days so as I get those in there. So this is a little box I made. It's got a couple little just pieces of paper in the front. And this, I started making some wax seals. Someone gifted me with a wax seal kit, and some of the wax seal heads came in this box. So I altered the box by putting a little pretty paper on there, and then I made a little journal that fits inside there. So let's go ahead and flip through this little journal really quick. It's about, I would say, 3.5 by about 4.5 maybe. And then I just went ahead inside. It's got little teeny tiny little tags and a tuck spot with a belly band, a little tiny booklet. So it was a little bit of a challenge to make things on a smaller scale. It's hard to, all of your ephemera you have to make. So here's a little Edith Holden on there. Tea-dyed paper. This is just some fabric and lace that you can put wherever in the journal you'd like. And on this side, I've got a little journal card, journal spot on the back, and this is the gesso and spackle. I put a little bit of paint in that to make that teal color. Then we have this is your center here. There's some journal spots, another little tuck here, some journaling inside. So just a fun little journal. It was a little bit of a challenge. It's a little piece of tea-dyed paper that folds out you can journal on. Here we have a little circle that pops in there with your thoughts. Another one of these textured journal cards. So, I packed a lot in there, didn't I? Sometimes by the time I get my video made, it's been a little while since I've made the item, and I was like, wow, okay, I guess I put more into this than I thought. Here we have a little belly band over here with a little piece of handmade paper inside. Again, a textured little journal card there. Got a little piece of paper there. This just folds out for a journal spot. It's hard to turn the pages on a little one. That's what I found. This is just a little piece of paper folded up so you can journal on that. And there it is. So that will be available in my shop. Like I said, I don't have this one uploaded yet into the shop, but I'll have that soon. Again, this is something that doesn't fall into the criteria for Lindsey's shop, so I'll be selling that through my Etsy shop. Let me tie this up before I set it aside and maybe lose it here. So, Alright, the last thing I want to show you is an idea for a charm box that I came up with. So a lot of people have been asking me for larger collections of similar colors of dangles and things like that, charms, you know, jewelry for your journal. So I purchased these boxes on Etsy, and then I went ahead and covered them, and this just slides out. I'm sorry if it's loud. And then what I did was I put some little wax seals that I made that'll come in there. There are, let's see, 10 or 12. I think there's 10 of these. These are page tabs. So the idea is you open this up and you stick this on the edge of it. Well, let me grab a piece of paper here. I have a scrap paper here, but let's pretend this is a journal page. And what you would do is you would open this up and you would glue this down on the edge of the page with a little bit sticking out, and then all of this fluff here, it sticks out on each side of the page. So there's 10 of those. Each one is a little bit different. Most of them have a button on one side and a stamped image on the other. Some of them have double buttons on, you know, a button on each side, but they're very similar and would coordinate really nicely in a journal. So you get those, and there are 10. Okay, so that goes up here with the wax seals. And then when we get into here, you'll see that we have some little tiny dangles. So these would be great on a journal card. You can stick them on a little piece of fabric and hang them on a page, or clip them onto a piece of fabric on a tab or on a journal cover. You know, you could take several of them off, put them on one bulb pin like this, and then put it on your journal. So there's lots of different things you can do with that. I also use them as on these page tabs. If you have a plain page tab that isn't decorated, let me grab one here. So if you have a page tab like this, you can punch a hole in it and then take one of these and attach it through the hole, and then attach this to your journal. So that's fun. Then I've got in here we have some other tassels. These are some of the chain tassels like you saw earlier, but these all come in this box. Everything in this box is one complete set. So you'll get everything you're seeing that's coming out of this box. Oh, we have a hang up here. There we go. So there's a purple one, and I have a blue one, and these are the very last of these vintage beads that I have, and I just love that bead. But somebody's going to be the lucky recipient. So here we have a wax seal tassel with double dangle on there. Here's another one with a butterfly image, and then it has a butterfly down here in the beads. I also have a blue tassel with vintage and new beads in there. I have a purple beaded tassel with vintage beads down here, leaves, flowers, all kinds of good stuff. I'll turn that over because it is on the back, has a decoration as well. And then I have this, which is a paper covered wood dangle, and it's got 3 dangles at the bottom. And the last one in this set is the painted upcycled name badge, and it has a blue and kind of a champagne colored tassel on there, or bead on there, on the dangle. So all of these items go in this box. It is all one thing that you will get, and that is available in my Etsy shop. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you're okay with the changes, because, you know, change is good. I like change. And anyway, if you have any comments, you have any questions, you will see anything that you would like to see in a tutorial, please let me know. I would be more than happy to consider that. And then I hope to see you in my next video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you very much.